Madurai, the lead consultant of Department of Arthroscopy and Sports Medicine at Ravla Hospital, Krompet. So this meeting is for something new that we have started in this hospital. This is one of its kind operation that is done in Tamil Nadu for the first time. This is synthetic ligament reconstruction. So this is the background of the meeting. We have done this operation on a patient who is 23-year-old. He's an IT professional, had a very bad injury 3 months back. He had a fracture in the pelvis, and then he had multiple ligament injury on the right knee joint. Initially, we stabilized this patient with pelvic surgery in the first instance by Dr. Sunil Gavaskar, who was the head of orthopedics in this hospital, and then primary repair of some of the ligaments in the knee joint, and one of the main nerve to the knee joint was done at this hospital 3 months back. We gave that injury time for that injury to recover for 3 months now, and we thought this is the right time for this operation to be done. So why did we choose this synthetic ligament? Is because the patient had multiple ligament, which means he had more than 3 ligaments torn in the knee joint. One of the ligament was primarily repaired, the other 2 was left behind. So now the patient is very young, and the patient is also had a back injury. So if traditionally what has been done before is we take graft from the patient's own leg from some other portion and then place that graft inside the patient's knee joint. Now because we have the liberty of using the synthetic graft, one procedure is less for the patient, and the patient will be able to recover early. As we are speaking, the patient is recovering, and tomorrow he'll be able to walk. So that's the gist of the operation that was done. The ligament was procured from England, Leeds, and this is Dr. Claudius Kosowski from Poland. He has experience of more than 2,000 knee operations using this ligament reconstruction, and that is Dr. Baha. He is the inventor of the synthetic ligament. So that is the prelude for the case. If you have any questions or if you have something to say.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Prakash and the hospital management for the invitation to join and assist in the surgery. I think it was elegantly performed surgery, and difficult case as always with multiple injuries, as you explained, and it's a challenge, this kind of case, and it gives this young man a chance to start walking tomorrow, full weight bearing. We saved some of his native tissues, which would have to be used now to stabilize the knee. At the end of the procedure, the knee is as stable as his other knee, and I think it gives him a chance not to following obviously a proper rehabilitation, to lead more or less normal life. So I think it's an important step. I've had an experience of using this for some years, and the results are very good. And I think especially cases like this where we need to find some tissue, some graft, it's a great help. It's just on the shelf, you can use it straight away. So I think it's congratulations on your first difficult case. You have chosen a very difficult case, but it went very well. So I think the patient and the surgeon should be pleased.
I'm Bahar Sidhom. I'm an engineer, a bioengineer. My role has been in partly participating in the designing and the testing of this device, which we feel is adequate, and very pleased to see this being used in this wonderful institute. In fact, the facade looks more like half the size of Buckingham Palace. It's absolutely amazing what you have here, and so delighted that we have provided something that could help the surgeon to preserve the biological capital of the patient. Thank you.
Sir, it is synthetic material, that is graft.
Correct.
Durability, what it was, explain this. Overall,
So in the life of the ligament that we use is
synthetic.
the life of the patient itself. Yeah, so it is as good as the autograft. இப்போ நம்ம நார்மலாக வேறு தசைநார் எடுத்து அந்த இடத்துல வைக்கும்போது எந்த அளவுக்கு அது ஒரு பெட்டராக இருக்குமோ சேம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் எஃபெக்ட் இருக்கும். அண்ட் இது வந்து இட் வில் ஸ்டே வித் தி பேஷண்ட் ஃபார் எவர். டியூரபிலிட்டி இஸ் வெரி வெரி குட். ஸோ
What about cost-wise?
cost wise, I think it is more than what it would cost the patient, but for the cost of the implant. But அதை அப்படி பார்க்காம பேஷண்ட்டோட ரெக்கவரி ஏர்லியாக இருக்கும். ட்ரெடிஷ்னலாக வந்து he has to wait for 3 months for him to go and perform activities இல்லையா. ஸோ இந்த ஆப்ரேஷனில் வந்து ப்ராபப்ளி நெக்ஸ்ட் டேலேருந்து நடக்க ஆரம்பிக்க போகிறாரு. ஸோ half of what it was before வந்துடும். அவரோட நேச்சுரல் மற்ற இடத்துல இருக்க டெண்டன் நம்ம எடுக்க போகிறது கிடையாது. ஸோ அதுவும் வந்து நம்ம காப்பாற்றுறோம். ஸோ வந்து இட் இஸ் டெஃபினெட்லி பெட்டர். காஸ்ட் ப்ளஸஸ் பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் பார்த்தோம்னா ஐ திங்க் பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் இஸ் மோர் தென் தி காஸ்ட். ஸோ ஐ டோன்ட் திங்க் it is of course affordable, yeah. By the standards of Chennai healthcare and Indian healthcare now, it is quite affordable. Yeah.
It's to implement. Sir, excuse me. What is the spark you get to make this the synthetic ligament? The intention of making this.
Why did you invent this?
Actually, everything was by default. In the past, I had a colleague from Japan who came to my unit at Leeds University to do research, and we were talking about what can we do with this synthetic material. I said, why don't you do something like an artificial ligament for the ACL? And I was so ignorant then. This is more than 40 years ago. And I said, do you really need that? He said, yes. Are there any ruptures? Oh, yes. And this is how it started.
Can we use for all ligaments?
Can be used
For all ligaments.
So right, it can be used for all the ligaments in the body, and they have different shapes and sizes. Yeah, dedicated shape and size for the dedicated ligament. So it can be used for all the ligaments in the body.
Designed for future technology also.
What is it?
You mean to say future technology?
It is, yeah, because it is artificial intelligence taking over. I think artificial ligament also will take over. Yeah.
Sir, did you try for other organs also, like ligaments?
அதான் எங்கெங்கே எந்தெந்த உடம்புல எந்தெந்த ஜாயிண்ட் இருக்கும், ஜாயிண்ட்ல இருக்க எல்லா லிகமெண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் ட்ரை பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ இட் இஸ் ட்ரைட் இன் தி ஷோல்டர், ட்ரைட் இன் தி knee, tried in the ankle. Yeah, it is tried in the heel, Achilles tendon also.
How long you are doing this surgery using a synthetic?
The longest observation we have is 15 years. So this 15-year follow-up. The first ligament which was used, it was in 2009, beginning of 2009, which was accidentally was a doctor, and she's still walking and working on this knee. But because you asked whether there are any places this has been used, I'm a patient as well with a rotator cuff injury, which was repaired using a special patch made of the same material 3 years ago, and as you can see, my shoulder is still doing very well. So it's not that I only preach, but I also use the same material for myself.